Okay, so you just got a $30,000 quote for a custom AI chatbot, right? Well, over 3 years, it's actually closer to $500,000. Today, we're going to break down the real math behind that. Let's dive right into this because it's wild. Most businesses are comparing their AI chatbot options completely the wrong way. They see that upfront build quote, they compare it against some monthly SaaS fee and think, okay, simple math. But what they're completely missing is the 3-year timeline it takes to make that AI genuinely useful, accurate, and secure. And that, my friends, is exactly where the costs truly explode. So buyers are constantly asking us, hey, should we build our own chatbot or should we just buy one? But to be honest, that's entirely the wrong question. The real question you absolutely must be asking yourself is, what is it going to cost to make this thing actually useful, completely accurate, seamlessly connected to our internal systems, secure, and maintained for the next 36 months? You see, a chatbot, it isn't just a chat window anymore. To unpack all of this, here's our quick agenda for this explainer. First, we'll look at the chatbot cost illusion. Then, option 1, building in-house. Option 2, buying off the shelf. Option 3, adapting an agent. And finally, we'll give you a simple 2026 decision framework. All right, starting with section 1, the chatbot cost illusion, or really the major mistake most buyers make right out of the gates. Moving to section 2, option 1, building in-house. Let's talk about what it genuinely takes to build one of these from scratch. Look, when we say build, we are definitely not just talking about slapping a little chat bubble in the corner of your website. A true custom build is a massive undertaking. I mean, first, there's product planning and deep conversation design. You've got to pick your AI models like Raza or LangChain, wrangle all your data and set up your entire knowledge base. Then, you're custom coding integrations for your CRM, your calendar, your help desk, the whole shebang. After that, rigorous security and compliance reviews, plus mapping out human escalation paths for when the AI, inevitably gets a bit confused. And honestly, we haven't even touched on the never-ending cycle of ongoing maintenance, prompt updates, retraining, and continuous optimization. It's a lot. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is looking at it over a 3-year period. You might get a proposal for a seemingly reasonable budgeted build, say 30 to 80 grand initially. Not terrible, right? But then you have to add 15 to 60,000 just for those custom integrations we talked about. Ongoing maintenance and updates, that'll run you another 3 to 10 grand every single month. Then toss in 50 to 150,000 in internal team time just to manage the thing, plus tens of thousands for ongoing compliance and testing. Suddenly, that initial quote, it balloons to anywhere from 150 to well over $500,000 in true total cost of ownership. These unseen costs, things like hosting infrastructure, model drift, paying massive salaries for scarce AI talent, and the sheer opportunity cost of pulling your best engineers off your core product, are exactly why up to 42% of internal builds are just outright scrapped. Building from scratch really only makes sense if AI is your core proprietary product and you absolutely need that deep technical ownership. For the vast majority of businesses, it's slower, it's way riskier, and it is far more expensive than anyone expects. Okay, on to section 3, option 2, buying off the shelf. This is the SaaS platform approach. So if building from scratch is basically a heavy, expensive anchor around your neck, what about just buying? This means you pay a monthly subscription for a ready-made SaaS chatbot or AI agent platform. And the math here looks great at first glance. Over 3 years, your total cost plummets to between $7,000 and $36,000. You can launch in a matter of days using their existing infrastructure. You get a slick, built-in user interface, included support, super easy scaling, and drastically less technical responsibility. But, and this is a big but, the trade-off is pretty harsh. Yes, you get a faster launch, but you're usually stuck with incredibly generic workflows. Because it's an off-the-shelf product, it often fails to really understand your brand's unique voice. It might not connect properly to your specific internal systems or your CRM. Ultimately, this means it acts like a basic robotic bot instead of a true business assistant. So yeah, you might save on that monthly fee, but you end up paying the price anyway through lost leads, manual follow-ups, missed conversations, and some massive customer support gaps. Plus, you might even get hit with hidden fees just to get advanced integrations working. Which brings us to section 4, option 3, adapting an agent. We like to call this the middle path to AI. Adapting is basically the practical middle path for businesses that, don't want a generic clunky chatbot, but also simply cannot afford a massive custom build. Instead of starting from zero, adapting means using a highly customizable platform, like SuperMia's personalized Mia, for example, and shaping it entirely around your specific brand workflows, your unique FAQs, and your exact CRM history. Basically, you aren't building the engine from scratch, but you get to fully customize exactly how the car drives. Let's move to the next step and see how this builds out in practice. When using a platform like Personalized MIA, you start with their robust, ready-to-go infrastructure, but then you train it strictly on your business-specific FAQs, your exact brand voice, and your specific lead qualification logic. You can set up automated appointment or demo booking, custom customer support flows, and highly specific industry workflows. You even define the exact human handoff rules for when complex issues arise. And because it connects deeply into your existing CRM and calendar, you continuously improve it based on real conversations. The craziest part, the result is deploying a truly personalized business assistant in about 48 hours. So the positioning here is crystal clear. Building gives you full technical ownership, sure, but it's incredibly expensive. Buying is fast, but it's often frustratingly generic. Adapting? That's the practical synthesis. It gives you the speed of buying combined with the precise control of building. By taking this adapt path, you keep your 3-year total cost comfortably and, more importantly, predictably between $60,000 and $180,000. Finally, Section 5, the 2026 Decision Framework. Let's talk about how to actually make the right call for your business. If you're an operations leader, a clinic owner, or a business decision maker, let's look at this matrix side by side. Building, it takes months and drains hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you get full IP control. Buying is cheap and instant, but you completely sacrifice control over the customer experience. Adapting sits perfectly right there in the middle. It launches in days to weeks, keeps your costs predictable, maintains high control over your workflows, and imposes the lowest possible maintenance burden on your internal team. To make this even easier to digest, let's just run through a simple 60-second mental flowchart. Ask yourself this: is the chatbot your core product differentiator? If the answer is no, like if it's just meant to handle customer support, triage issues, or qualify leads, then do not build. Stop right there. If the answer is yes, ask question 2. Can you maintain it at market speed with a dedicated internal AI team? If no, you should adapt. Only if the answer is a resounding yes to both of those questions should you actually even consider building from scratch. So the crucial point is perfectly summarized by a really powerful CTO rule of thumb. If dozens of vendors solve it, and it's not your differentiator, building is waste. Seriously, keep your highly paid engineers focused strictly on the core product that only your company can build, and use the adapt path to expertly handle your customer journey. You really don't have to be trapped by the cost illusion, and you absolutely aren't limited to just 2 extreme options anymore. Build, buy, or adapt. Which path are you going to choose to transform your customer journey in 2026 without completely draining your resources? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this framework helps you make the exact right call for your team.